in Columbia, South Carolina. WIS News 10 starts now.
We are continuing to track that winter storm making its way right here to the Midlands.
So let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Von Gaskin for the very latest. When can we expect the precipitation to fall tomorrow?
Well, the good news is the storm system has finally developed.
Okay.
We're finally starting to see some activity from it. Now, if you look out across the center of the country, down near Texas, this is where the low pressure is finally getting its act together. Clearly, the green is the rain, so there's still some rain in there, but that top part where you see that purple and that white, that's an indication of snow that's already falling across the top tier of this storm system. So here's the mixed precipitation near Dallas, and here we are looking at the snow. Of course, that's going to be in areas near Oklahoma, Little Rock, Arkansas. They're getting some snow already, starting to move across the Mississippi River Valley. So that's where it is. It's finally developed. We're finally starting to get a little bit closer to it. And we also know that because they have kind of upgraded our alerts out here too. So we now have a winter storm warning, and we do have a winter storm advisory. So we have all of these things in place for us, giving us an indication of some accumulation with the winter weather that is coming through. We're not talking about something that is going to be a lot of accumulation, but there is going to be accumulation, and it does look like our ground is cold enough to support some accumulating precipitation. So we're going to fine tune some of those numbers for you, and I'll show you some of those coming up. But for now, if you want to get on out, perhaps just kind of enjoy the day. It's 43 degrees. I know it's on the cold side, but layer up and enjoy. Winds coming in for the northwest at 9 miles per hour here, and we are looking at a dew point of 11. That means it's very dry. We have high pressure that's holding on to the surface. That means when that storm system comes in here, it's going to have a tough time overcoming that dry air before we actually see any type of precipitation here at the ground. All right, for your 7 o'clock hour, we're at 33. It's cold, skies are clear, temperatures continue to fall through the night, and we're getting down to 23 degrees for tomorrow morning. And yes, tomorrow is the day we've been talking about for several days. That first alert weather day is in place. Daytime highs only at 36. Most other areas north of us will be lower than that, but coastal communities will be in the 40s. We'll talk more about the forecast coming up.
All right, Vaughn, thank you. And as we get ready for the possibility of a little snow with that participation coming, SCDOT is also prepping at the same time.
DOT workers have been on the roads, getting them ready to deal with the wintry mix. First Alert meteorologist Chandler Jordan is sharing what exactly brine trucks do.
Across the country, in anticipation of the arrival of wintry systems, many crews use brine to help out our roadways as far as our winter weather treatment options. Now, one of the perks of using brine on the roadways is that it lowers the freezing point. Brine is a solution of water and salt, and this salt is what helps to lower the freezing point as it's applied to the roads. It makes it a lot more difficult for snow or ice to try and stick to the surface, and that is why brine is so widely used, is because it lowers the freezing point, and from there it does a great job of preventing this ice and snow from being able to stick to the surface of the roads by creating an ever so thin layer of liquid that allows for your tires to pick up on better traction. This solution of brine as well, it also reduces how much pure salt that we use. In turn, by reducing the amount of pure salt that is used, that also means we're helping out the environment, and it's also cutting costs because the use of pure salt can be a little expensive at times when treating roadways, and this thin layer of liquid that is developed on the surface of the roads from the treatment of brine can help to provide traction so that you and your loved ones, if you have to get out and about, especially Friday and into Saturday morning, it will be a lot safer for you to do so. Now, for any other type of winter weather tip, or if you want your latest First Alert forecast, be sure to download our First Alert weather app. Take your phones out, scan the QR code on your screen. You'll be able to get your latest hour-by-hour forecast. You can check out First Alert radar. We've got our First Alert 10-day forecast as well. And if you want to head over and check out any other of these safety tips or get your latest forecast update, you could also do so by checking out our website, wistv.com.
Well, with temperatures dropping here in the Midlands and a first alert weather day issued for tomorrow, as we've been reminding you, a lot of people are planning to stay indoors, which is going to be a good idea. But to do so, they are stocking up at the grocery store to make sure they have everything that they need. We spoke to the owner of the Piggly Wiggly off Divine Street in Columbia. He says shoppers have been filling in all day and asking for those online orders and then picking them up. A lot of shoppers have their eyes on popular goods like bottled water, canned food, toilet paper, and other non-perishables.
I got a bunch of water. I stocked up on water. I got plenty of that.
What about bread?
Yes, bread too. They overdo it, really. Paper and toilet paper in particular. You know, when anything strange happens, they go load up on toilet paper.
That's true. I don't know why. Bread and water. Maybe you can make some interesting dishes there, Greg. But the grocery store is not the only place you'll see salt. As of yesterday, primary roads across the state are being pre-treated by SCDOT. Major roadways like your I-77s, 26 and 20, they're giving a coat of brine and salt as they prep for the storm.
DOT has 4,000 employees statewide, and when we have any kind of impacts from a storm like this, we are all hands on deck. And so from the coast all the way to the upstate, we are fully ready to respond to any kind of impacts that we may see.
Omi Popa shows you how SCDOT is prepping the roads ahead of the storm on your news at 5. Stay tuned, everyone.
And while the Midlands has started to see colder temperatures heading into tomorrow's first alert weather day, some families have to go the extra mile just to stay warm. And many do this by using a heater that runs on propane or kerosene, but sometimes it's easy to forget how to use them safely. The Sumter Fire Department says they typically see an uptick in house fires this time of year, especially when temperatures drop. Lieutenant Selena Smith with the Sumter Fire Department expressed the main reason for this is because of people heating their homes unsafely. One thing that she expressed that every family should keep in mind is putting enough space in between your heater and other items in the house. Smith explained why people should have any type of heater, and specifically ones using kerosene, a few feet away from anything.
It's 3 feet away from anything that it can burn. That's the important thing. When you go to bed, it needs to go to bed. It needs to be off because you just don't want that variable of the unknown to happen.
Smith also stressed that people should plug in any type of heater directly into the wall rather than into a power strip. She also recommends that people bundle up if they have to go out in colder weather. Sam Shapiro will have more tips from the Sumter Fire Department coming up on your news at 5 and 6.
Well, several school districts in the Midlands are making changes to their schedules ahead of tomorrow's first alert weather day. For a full list, head to our website, wistv.com.